The automotive industry is in the middle of one of its most disruptive periods in history. From supply chain headaches to the transition toward electrification, automakers and dealerships alike are navigating a rapidly changing landscape. Against this backdrop, Toyota's CEO recently sent a sharp and unmistakable warning to dealerships, a message that has sparked widespread discussion among industry insiders, analysts, and car buyers alike. This wasn't a polite suggestion or a vague guideline. It was a direct call to action. A signal that the traditional dealership model, long the backbone of Toyota's global sales network, needs urgent evolution. Beneath the surface of this warning lies a host of critical challenges: overstocked inventories, the financial strain of EV adoption, and the rise of direct-to-consumer sales models that could eventually bypass dealerships altogether. So what exactly did Toyota's leadership say? And why does it matter? More importantly, how will this shift affect the way you and I buy cars in the coming years? Let's dive deep into the layers of this warning, explore expert perspectives, and paint a picture of the road ahead. Dealerships across the US and other global markets are facing bloated inventories. After years of vehicle shortages during the pandemic, when supply chain bottlenecks meant empty lots and soaring prices, the pendulum has swung the other way. Many dealerships now find themselves with more vehicles than they can reasonably sell, especially as higher interest rates make car loans less attractive for buyers. According to analysts at Cox Automotive, new car inventory in 2025 is expected to hover at levels 40 to 50% higher than the previous year. Toyota dealerships, while historically better at managing supply-demand balance, are not immune. Excess inventory creates a dangerous cycle. The longer cars sit on lots, the more costly they become for dealers to finance and maintain. This is why Toyota's CEO warned that the current business-as-usual approach won't cut it anymore. Moving metal is no longer enough. Dealers need smarter strategies to match vehicles with changing consumer demand. Consumer behavior is shifting. Just as inventories swell, consumer buying patterns are evolving. Today's car buyers are more informed than ever before. With online platforms like CarGurus, TrueCar, and even automakers' own configurators, shoppers walk into dealerships already knowing the fair market value of a vehicle, its incentives, and its competition. More crucially, younger buyers, millennials and Gen Z, are showing less tolerance for the traditional dealership experience, which often involves long hours of negotiations, financing hurdles, and upselling attempts. Instead, they prefer streamlined digital transactions, home delivery options, and transparent pricing. This shift in consumer behavior is not a temporary fad. It's a fundamental redefinition of how people approach big-ticket purchases. Toyota's CEO sees this trend and understands that unless dealerships evolve, they risk alienating a significant share of future buyers. The electrification dilemma, EVs and hybrids, opportunity meets challenge. Toyota has long been a leader in hybrid technology. The Prius, introduced over 25 years ago, remains one of the most recognizable green cars ever made. Yet, when it comes to fully electric vehicles, Toyota has been more cautious than rivals like Tesla, Ford, or Hyundai. The company believes hybrid and hydrogen fuel cell technology are equally critical to the transition. But for dealerships, this transition is complicated. EVs require new sales tactics, new service infrastructure, and significantly more technical training for staff. Charging stations, specialized diagnostic equipment, and technician certifications are expensive investments that many dealerships are hesitant or financially unable to make quickly. Industry experts estimate that a typical dealership must invest anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 to adequately prepare for EV sales and servicing. That's no small ask, especially for smaller family-owned dealerships that operate on thin margins. Fewer service visits, less revenue. Here's another catch. EVs, while attractive to buyers for their lower running costs, generate less revenue for dealerships over time. Traditional gas-powered cars require regular oil changes, transmission servicing, and other maintenance. EVs, on the other hand, need far fewer service visits. Service departments are a dealership's profit engine, often accounting for 40 to 50% of net profits. If EV adoption grows rapidly, dealerships could face a serious financial shortfall. Toyota's CEO's warning, therefore, isn't just about moving cars, it's about preparing dealerships for a world where their primary profit model may be disrupted. The rise of direct-to-consumer sales lessons from Tesla. Perhaps the most disruptive trend in auto retail is the growing popularity of direct-to-consumer (DTC) models. Tesla pioneered this approach, selling vehicles online and delivering them straight to buyers without involving traditional dealerships. This model eliminates haggling, reduces overhead, and allows for a more streamlined customer experience. While legacy automakers like Toyota are legally bound in many markets to sell through franchise dealers, the pressure to move toward a digital-first model is undeniable. Rivals like Ford and General Motors are already experimenting with online reservation systems, fixed pricing, and direct delivery services. Toyota's CEO knows that the dealership network, while valuable, must adapt to compete with these new retail models. Otherwise, Toyota risks falling behind in customer satisfaction rankings and losing ground to brands that embrace digital-first retail strategies. Expert insights. Why this warning matters. To better understand the weight of Toyota's CEO's warning, let's look at what industry experts are saying. Michelle Krebs, executive analyst at Cox Automotive, explains, "Dealerships are under tremendous pressure from both sides. On one hand, they're carrying heavy inventories that cost money every day they sit unsold. On the other, they're being asked to prepare for an EV future that may take years to become profitable." The CEO's message is a reminder that standing still is not an option. John Cassessa, former Ford strategy chief, adds, "Toyota has one of the most loyal customer bases in the world, but even loyalty has limits. If dealerships don't modernize the buying process, younger customers will simply take their business elsewhere. The market is changing faster than many dealers are willing to admit." These insights highlight the urgency of the CEO's call. It's not just about selling more cars, it's about building a sustainable, future-proof retail ecosystem. What this means for car buyers. For everyday buyers, Toyota's warning could mean a very different car shopping experience in the near future. 1. Less room for negotiation. With dealerships under pressure to move inventory and adopt fixed-price models, the days of heavy haggling may be numbered. Expect more "what you see is what you get" pricing. 2. More online purchasing options. Toyota and its dealers will likely expand online configurators, digital financing tools, and home delivery services. For buyers, this could mean a more convenient and transparent process. 3. Fewer incentives in the short term. As dealers struggle with EV investments and inventory financing, they may offer fewer discounts and promotions than in the past. 4. Better long-term service on hybrids and EVs. The upside? Dealerships that invest now in EV infrastructure will be better positioned to offer high-quality service and support for next-generation vehicles. The bigger picture. Toyota's global strategy. It's worth noting that Toyota isn't just thinking about US dealerships. This message reflects a broader global strategy. In Europe, regulators are tightening emission standards, effectively forcing automakers to accelerate EV adoption. In Asia, Toyota's hybrid dominance gives it a short-term edge, but competitors like BYD in China are scaling EV production at an unprecedented pace. Toyota's CEO understands that the company's retail network is both its greatest strength and its potential Achilles heel. By warning dealerships now, Toyota is trying to align its vast dealer base with its long-term vision for sustainable growth. Conclusion: a turning point for Toyota and its dealers. Toyota's CEO has issued more than a warning. It's a wake-up call that signals a turning point for both dealerships and buyers. The old ways of doing business are under siege from multiple directions. Bloated inventories, the EV transition, and the rise of digital retail. For dealerships, survival will require agility, investment, and a willingness to break away from decades-old practices. For buyers, this means a future of more transparent, but potentially less flexible car buying experiences. One thing is certain: change is no longer on the horizon, it's already here. Toyota's CEO has made it clear that the status quo isn't sustainable. How dealerships respond will determine not only their own survival, but also the way millions of people around the world buy their next car.